Peace, family. Peace, family. We back. We're back again with another YouTube live. Hold on one second. Let me send out the alerts. Hold on one second. Let me send out the alerts. Let me send out the alerts real quick, family. And I'm going to be right with you. One second, family. Okay, one second. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Okay. But peace, family, peace and black power. We're gonna go ahead and get it started. And talk about what I want to talk about tonight. Tonight I want to talk about the system of white supremacy and this white supremacist playing dumb and playing victim. Playing dumb and playing victim. We got to talk about that tonight. But before we do, as always, family, I want to encourage the family to get your economic game up, get your economic empowerment game up, multiple streams of income. I want to encourage the family to always do that. Work on your multiple streams of income. Right now, we are in times of war, and in times of war, you need finances, and you need to have independent finances besides working on the corporate plantation or working at your job. So make sure you're working your businesses. Make sure you have multiple streams of income, whether that be invest in stocks right now. Stock market dropped yesterday. Okay. Okay, we're back. But like I was saying, work on monetizing your intellectual content as well, family. That put it in book format, putting it in ebook format. We have to do these things. Also, work on being more militant. Like I say, if you haven't already, get your license to carry. Make sure you arm yourself right now. We are in times of war. These white supremacists are heightening up the attack, especially my queens out there. They're looking for easy targets. So make sure if you don't have a gun, you have you some pepper sprays, you have your taser, something on you to defend yourself. Make sure you have these things at all times, family. At all times. Make sure you have these things. But with that being said, before I get into the main topic of today, which I want to talk about these white supremacists playing victim, you dig, and playing dumb. I first want to talk about some more so other current events that have been going on right now. A lot of people have been talking about over the last week the show Cuties on Netflix. The show Cuties on Netflix is basically this sick demonic show that Netflix is promoting, where you have black girls out here twerking their showing their love for twerking at a young age, basically over sexualizing the black woman. Now they have a couple white girls on the show, but the focus is more so on the black women, the little black girls on the show. So that's to be expected in the times we're living in. They're trying to over sexualize the young black girls out here. And we've been seeing that even not even girls, but even with black women in general. They've been trying to over sexualize them, even with the Cardi B movement and the whole WAP movement. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, Cardi B has just filed for divorce. So how is that WAP life treating you? You dig? How is that WAP life treating you? I keep telling my queens, listen to me, my beautiful black queens. You have to bring more to the table than wet ass pussy. You have to bring more to the table than that. You see what I'm saying? Wet ass pussy is not controlling anything. Offset was out here, her husband was out here cheating on her because that's all you're bringing to the table. Because that whole thing, when the video dropped, they were talking about, oh man, that's woman empowerment. Oh man, we're just talking about how empowering it is to be a woman and how much power we have. Obviously, when you're looking at yourself as a sexual object, you don't have that much power because obviously you can't keep a man, you can't do anything. You see what I'm saying? Megan Thee Stallion, who was in the video with her, she's getting shot in the foot by dudes she's dating. You did? She's getting shot in the foot. So obviously it's not that empowering. You did? Obviously that empowering. And they've been doing this at a global level on black women, on a global level, in all ages and all ranges. You see what I'm saying? Talking about how making your body a sexual object is somehow empowerment. It's not, family. It's not. Hold on one second, family. It's not at the end of the day. So I want my queens to make sure that you get your intellectual game up. You see what I'm saying? Reading, studying. That's true empowerment. That's true knowledge. That's how you keep a man. Because I'm going to tell you right now, players and dudes like Offset, her husband, he has money. He has plenty of WAP around him that he can tap into at any time. So you having that is not keeping him. You see what I'm saying? You having that is not keeping him. You have to bring something else to the table, family. You have to bring something else to the table, my queens out there. So she's filed for a divorce. Like I said, they're pushing this over sexualization of the black woman on all levels, even show cuties. Lil Nas X, even they're attacking the black boys, over sexualizing the black boys. Lil Nas X is dropping a children's book. On the children's book, he has this, I guess it's himself. He has himself in this rainbow color outfit. So I already know, I don't even want to look inside the book. I already know it's heavy LGBTQ agenda inside the book. You see what I'm saying? But they're pushing this more so on the babies now. And in the show Cuties, they're dancing to the song WAP by Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B. You see what I'm saying? So this is a full-blown agenda at this point. Full-blown agenda. And we have to be ready for it. We have to be ready for it, and we can't be surprised by it. And we have to tell our children the truth of the situation. We have to make examples like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. This is what happens when you over-sexualize yourself. And I'm not condoning Tory Lanez shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. I'm not co-signing that at all. I'm not co-signing that at all. But I'm saying women who look at themselves as sexual objects and that's all they bring to the table, they usually don't get good things out the situation. Yeah, guys are always lust for you, but once they get you, they're going to dump you like a sack of potatoes because you have nothing else to offer other than your body. You see what I'm saying? So we got to educate our young queens on that. We got to educate our young kings on the beauty of the black woman outside of her sexual prowess. You see what I'm saying? Also in news today, we got to discuss Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor's family, I'm sure many of you have heard because I haven't been live since last Saturday. Hold on one second. I haven't been live since last Saturday. But since then, Breonna Taylor's family has received a $12 million settlement. And you know, a lot of people have mixed feelings about it at the end of the day. Now, me personally, I'm not for settlement. I want eye for an eye. I want revenge. Settlement is not good enough, but I understand the concept. And shout out to Breonna Taylor's mother, because Breonna Taylor's mother is still out here saying, listen, the 12 million is cool, but we still want justice. She says she still wants these race soldiers punished, and salute her for that. Salute her for that, because oftentimes they use these settlement monies. They use this as shut up money. Remember, if y'all don't remember when Trayvon Martin's family got that money, they kind of hushed about it. They put certain deals into these contracts like, hey, if we give you X amount of money, you can't say anything else about the case. All this no justice, no peace stuff has to stop. You see what I'm saying? So oftentimes when they give these families these money, you don't hear nothing else from the family no more. Now you have people around the family who might say something about it, but the family, you don't really hear nothing no more. And also some of that money in the 12 million, I think like 500,000 is going to police reform, which is a nothing burger. Remember, police reform is just time wasting. There's no such thing as reforming the police. The police is operating how it's supposed to operate. Remember, the origins of policing goes back to slave catching, family. Never forget that. The origins of policing goes back to slave catching. So policing is working exactly how it's supposed to work. You see what I'm saying? So all this, we're gonna spend 500,000 on police reform. That's doing nothing. That's enabling these race soldiers to continue to go out there and kill us. Not to mention, when you talk about giving a family a $12 million settlement, not to mention that's coming from the taxpayers. I always want us to remember that. We're paying Breonna Taylor's family $12 million. The taxpayers, the brothers and sisters in Louisville are paying her that. You see what I'm saying? Why is that important? Because the police is still not punished. The race soldiers that kill her are still not punished. It didn't cost them anything financially. It'll be one thing if the 12 million was coming out the police pensions, but that's just coming from taxpayers. That's just more tax dollars we have to waste on police killing unarmed black men, women, and children. You see what I'm saying? So we have to be conscious of that. We have to be conscious of that. We also have to be conscious, peace, God. Somebody said peace, peace, God. We also have to be conscious of exchanging justice for settlements. You cannot put a price on the black life. You cannot put a price on the black life. And some people say, you know, and I say this too, we need what we are owed plus interest. So you can consider the 12 million plus interest, but we also need justice. Now, justice comes in different forms. Some people have the street way of justice. Some people say, well, you know, they need to get 25 to life. Now, me personally, I go for the latter, but hey, it is what it is. What I don't want the family to start doing is exchanging money for lives. They're putting value on your life. There's no such thing as putting value on the white life. Understand, 12 million might seem like a lot to a lot of Negroes, but when you look at many of these white celebrities who may sue for certain things, they get 50, 60 million dollars. I remember Hulk Hogan not too long ago, family, a couple of years ago. Hulk Hogan, he was a famous wrestler. Something happened that his nude pictures got out, and it's a similar situation that happened with ESPN reporter named Aaron Andrews. One of their news or pictures like that got up. They gave them like $50 million. But a black woman losing her life, she gets 12 million. You see what I'm saying? I think they gave Michael Brown's family like 4 million. These are crumbs, family, that come from our pocket. That come from our pocket. Understand, taxpayers pay around, like in cities of New York, taxpayers paid 69 million last year in civil settlements to handle the police affairs. You see what I'm saying? We're talking about crumbs, essentially. This money that taxpayers are being forced to pay at the hands of the police wrongdoing. And they get off scot-free. They don't get any jail time, and their money is not attacked. You see what I'm saying? So this is what people talk about when we talk about defund the police. This is what we talk about. The fact that we have to continue to, it cost us our lives and it cost us our money in order to fund their terrorism. Because that's what it is. We got to be clear on that. That's what this is. It's terrorism. It's modern day lynching. You see what I'm saying? It's modern day lynching. So I don't want us to ever settle for these $12 million lawsuits. We got to do better, family. We got to do better. Now, shout out to them. Like I said, shout out to the family, because they're still talking about no justice, no peace. Shout out to them. But we got to start looking at the fine detail of things. We got to start looking at some of these lawyers, the Benjamin Crumps of the world. And I've been very critical of people like Benjamin Crump and Lee Merritt. The same Negroes. Notice that every time a black person is killed, it's the same Negroes that show up on a public level, on a national level. Whenever an unarmed black man, woman, or child get killed, it's the same Negroes. It's the Lee Merritt or it's the Benjamin Crumps. Notice that, family. And you like, a lot of people, myself included, like, damn, how the hell do they show up all the time? One, they show up and offer free services, because some of our brothers and sisters don't necessarily have the money to get the best lawyer or to get lawyers that are strictly after race soldiers in their head. So they have to get Benjamin Crump and Lee Merritt because they're free. But one of the counters to that is one of the ways they get paid is they get paid through settlements. So he's probably going to get some of that settlement money. That's how they get paid. So they say, well, you know what, free of charge, but when we get the settlement, I need like a M. So they push more so for these settlements. So we got to watch lawyers like that. These lawyers who never really win a case. Notice, when do they ever win a case that is punishing a race soldier? You dig? Remember with the Amber Guyger situation. Amber Guyger, the white police officer who walked and killed our brother Botham Jean in his apartment last year in Dallas. And she walked away with 10 years, and her lawyer, they're already trying to get that reduced to 5 or like 2 years, get her out for time served. You see what I'm saying? Botham Jean's family was represented by Lee Merritt, and they were out here apologizing and cooning and explaining, trying to get some of that settlement money. You see what I'm saying? And Lee, they push for that settlement money because that's how they get paid. And we got to watch people like that. We need lawyers out here who are going to strive for justice, for punishing these race soldiers. Yeah, the money's cool. Let's punish them first, then get the bag. And let's find a way to get this money out police pensions, not taxpayers. Hell, taxpayers didn't kill Breonna Taylor. Taxpayers didn't kill them. That's the police. That's these funded terrorists who continue to go out here and do what they do because they're not hurt economically or physically or punished with any jail time. So we got to be clear on that. We got to watch lawyers like that. I think Lee Merritt or Benjamin Crump is representing our brother down here, Ahmaud Arbery. They're down here representing Rayshard Brooks. They're representing George Floyd. And a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, these race soldiers never get punished, but we get a form of money or cash payouts for our loss. You see what I'm saying? The system is quick to tell us, hey, the cops did no wrongdoing, yet the taxpayers need to pay these families $10 to $20 million. But you said there was no wrongdoing. See the contradictory, family? And we got to be on the lookout for that. We got to be out on the lookout for that. But let me go ahead and move on. Also, as well, before I move on, as many of us saw, I talked about on my last YouTube live, I talked about Andrew Gillum, and Andrew Gillum is finally coming out. Andrew Gillum, last time we talked about it, he was talking about, oh, he just got caught in a room with some friends and it's not what it looks out. And I told you, family, I said the brother just needs to come on out. You know, he's under the cover right now. He's wearing that beard. He needs to go ahead and take off that fake beard and just come on out for the person he is. So he finally came on out. Let me show you the clip of what I'm talking about. Hold on, let me. Shout out to our brother Tariq Nasheed as well.
Honest with you, when you didn't ask the question, you put it out there, is whether or not I identify as gay. And the answer is I don't identify as gay, but I do identify as bisexual.
Gay. You gay.
And that is something that I have never shared publicly before. Honest with you, when you didn't ask the question.
Okay, one more time.
You put it out there, is whether or not I identify as gay. And the answer is I don't identify as gay, but I do identify as bisexual. And that is something that I have never shared publicly before.
And this is, family, let me go back to myself real quick. This is something we already knew, family. This is something we already knew, and I talked about that last week. And I'm happy the brother's finally just coming on out. Just go ahead and admit, because what they try to do is they try to slip these black politicians in here with other agendas. Now, he was more than willing to be under the rug. He was more than willing to sneak in and act like he was heterosexual. People say, why does that matter? Because oftentimes these people get in these positions and they have secret motives. So they get in, he has all these LGBTQ rights and don't do nothing for black people. And then they say, well, look how much I did for our LGBTQ brothers in the struggle. And that's because they're LGBTQ. You did. They put a lot of beards on these black politicians. And that's one of the reasons they allow certain amount of them to rise in power. You know, they always had this thing where black politicians, they have to be under the rug. One, they can't do anything for black people. And they understand that by them representing another part of the culture or being of a different sexual preference than most black people are with, then they'll represent more so of that agenda. You see what I'm saying? So they'll push these people. And it finally got exposed. It finally got exposed. So he finally comes on out, and the truth will set you free. The truth will set you free, family. The truth will set you free. So Andrew Gillum, he's out here. He's out here with his bussy out, and he finally got caught. He finally got caught. And I'm glad he's coming on that now, because just expose the true nature of what you were. You see what I'm saying? You were a gay man. You were a bisexual man. And that's good to know. You dig? Don't have anything deceptive. That's good to know, family. I'm glad he came on out, and hopefully that takes some pressure off that brother. You dig? That's something we knew the whole time, though. Like I said, he's wearing a beard and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? He was kind of looked at as their puppet. The Democrats like to push this. Speaking of Democrats pushing black puppets, Kamala Harris is out here still, family, desperate. She is so desperate for some black validation. She was really overdoing it now, family. She's really overdoing it. Let me show you this video real quick. This is Kamala Harris. Lord. This is Kamala Harris. She's out here again. She's super desperate right now. Look at Kamala Harris. Okay, she's out here with her Timbs on. Oh, goodness. So she's out here, and she's been blacking it up. She's out here with her Timbs on now, and they're putting an emphasis on showing her feet. And she's kind of got this little pep in her walk. Stop it, Kamala. We see right through it, Kamala. Lord. She's desperate. Remember the other week she had on Chuck Taylor. She was running around in Chucks. Now, we've never seen her in Chucks. She's always been looking like the top cop. But last year, every time we see Kamala, now she's wearing Chucks and she's wearing Timbs, and she's out here looking like a construction worker with these Timbs on, family. If anything, she's losing more black people by the day, because any black person can tell by the way she got them Timbs laced up that she ain't with black culture. You dig? She looks like a non-foundational. She's got them strapped up like she's finna go on a construction site, family. You dig? She's got them strapped up like she's finna go on a construction site. But this is her way of pandering to black folks. This is her way of pandering to black people, family. Again, when you ask Kamala Harris about tangibles, when you ask her about, hey, man, you need to go out here. What are you doing about black tangibles? What are you doing about reparations? What are you doing that's tangible? What are you doing specifically to help members of the black community? Oh, I'm not going to do anything specific. But yeah, you're going to give us a lot of symbolism. Every time it's a versus battle, remember when it was the Monica Brandy versus battle, she's popping up trying to get a little black symbolism going on. No, black folks, we're not stupid anymore. We're not stupid anymore. We saw it under Obama. Obama already gave us the hope and the symbolism we can have for a lifetime. Somebody who did nothing for black folks, just provided symbolism. Hold on one second. Just provided symbolism. Somebody who did nothing for black folks, just provided symbolism. We don't need any more of that, family. Hit that like button as well, family. Hit that like button if you're already in the room. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon for your boy real quick. But we don't need any more symbolism. We don't need to see you out here wearing Timbs, Kamala. We already know you have a disdain for black America. You've already been on film bragging about you're the top cop. Wearing Timbs isn't going to change it. And Lord, who is your stylist? They would tell you you're wearing your Timbs wrong. We don't need anybody out here wearing Timbs like that. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. We don't need any black woman out here wearing Timbs like she's about to go on a construction site. You dig? But when we talk about, hey, Kamala, we need tangibles. This is what we need. You start explaining. You start talking about how you're not gonna do anything specific for us. But when it comes to fashion, you want to, oh, I'll give you some Timbs. I'll give you some Chuck Taylors. You dig? No, I'll be at the versus battle. I'll listen to Tupac. I listened to Tupac and Biggie in college when Tupac and Biggie hadn't even dropped the album yet. Just straight lying. But this is what they do with our black politicians, family. So I need to, yeah, I need the family to understand that. Yes, she took them Timbs off in the SUV. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kamala Harris, somebody again, that's clearly her pandering to black folks. That's their version of a black agenda. And it's disrespectful, family. It's disrespectful. That's their version of a black agenda. She's wearing Timbs now. You dig? I guess her ass is going to pull out some Jabots next week. You see what I'm saying? What is she going to do next? I guess she's going to do like Hillary Clinton. Remember, Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election, she went up to the Breakfast Club with a bottle of hot sauce. And they were like, Hillary, what's in your purse? And she pulled out some hot sauce. Lord, that's the black agenda for a lot of these folks. That's what they consider doing tangible items for black folks. Pulling out hot sauce, pulling out Timbs, pulling out Chuck Taylors, popping up at black concerts and dancing. You dig? Joe Biden, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. It's that type of stuff. It's symbolism. I marched with Dr. King. I knew John Lewis. Nothing tangible. Whenever you start asking, hey, man, what's up with that reparations money? You dig? What's up with punishing these race soldiers? You dig? What's up with that? Oh, I can't do anything specific. I'm the president of all people. I can't do anything specifically for you. You dig? When they talk about tangibles, family, for the white Hispanic community, they don't come out here saying, hey, I can't do anything specifically for you. They don't come out here wearing sombreros when they get off the plane. They don't come out here doing that. They offer them tangibles. You dig? This is what they say, hey, we're going to make your mother, your father, they get across the border. We're going to put in a quota. They come over here with tangibles. We're going to do this specifically. We're going to give out special, we're going to have special loans specifically for the white Hispanic community and Mexicans and immigrants. We're going to do this specifically for them. But when it comes to us, it's, nigga, I'm going to put on some Timbs. Lord, stop. These are these black politicians, family. Not all. We got some thorough brothers and sisters out there. Not all. But this is most of them. And this is why Kamala doesn't get our vote. This is why Kamala doesn't get our vote. And you can see all the pundits, Yahoo News, they released an article talking about Kamala Harris is bringing Timbs back. Stop. Stop. Brothers and sisters in New York, that's all they wear is Timbs. Shit, it's always Timbs season. In the summertime, they got on Timbs. At the beach up there in New York, they got on Timbs. Shout out to my brothers and sisters in New York. But they're trying to push that. They're trying to give us some black credentials heavy, family. And it's just not going to work. It's not going to work. We see right through it. Black folks are on code. You dig? They're trying to tie her to symbols of our freedom, ancestors that we hold near and dear. I told you the other month they had Kamala Harris relating her to Queen Nanny of the Maroons. Something that's completely disrespectful. Consider the fact that Kamala Harris's ancestry goes back to slave owners. You dig? That's according to her father, by the way. Goes over there to slave owners and things of that nature. Kamala Harris has a history of locking up niggas. Queen Nanny of the Maroons had a history of freeing black people. So how in the world could you make that correlation? She's laughing about being top cop when Queen Nanny cut the heads off her oppressors and set many African people free. How you can make that correlation. But again, it's part of the deflection tactic. Again, we don't want to give black people anything. We just want to make Kamala this symbolic figure who's going to give them symbolism. But it's not working, family. It's not working anymore. We're not falling for the con games anymore. You dig? We're not falling for the con games anymore. It's reparations or else. Tangibles or else. No reparations, no tangibles, you don't get our vote. Donald Trump is not scaring us anymore. See, a person like, a lot of black people understand this, a person like Kamala Harris, a person like the Democrats, they're more scarier than Donald Trump. Let me tell the black folks this, because these are people who will smile in your face but turn around and stab you as soon as you turn your back. These are people who are more dangerous than Trump because they'll find a way to have you killed without having you fight back because you don't even know they're against you. You see what I'm saying? You don't even know they're against you. These are people who operate with deception. Remember, The Art of War, Sun Tzu. That's a great book to read. The Art of War by Sun Tzu. They talk about the first rule of war is deception. The first rule of war is to act like you're not dangerous when you're very dangerous. You see what I'm saying? The first rule of war is to act like you're far away from your opponent when you're really close. The first rule of war to act like a friend when you're really an enemy. It's deception. Deception. So yeah, I'm gonna have some type of correlation. I'm gonna walk around with Tim's on and act like, oh, I'm so I'm so hip hop, but I'm really your worst nightmare. But we're not falling for that no more. We're on code. But enough with that, family. Enough with that. I want to get into the main topic of the day. Make sure you like the video, family. Make sure you like the video. Yeah, Bill Clinton with the saxophone. It goes on and on. The Democrats, they have a long history of this. They have a long history of this. And one thing about history, when you study it, you will see truly that the Democrats, their origin is just like the Republicans. The Democrats are two veins on the same snake, the Republican and the Democrat Party. They both want to operate in the system of white supremacy. What Democrats and Republicans fight about is how to implement white supremacy. Republicans want to implement it unapologetically. You see what I'm saying? They just want to be blatant with the racism, which I appreciate. Because if you're my enemy, just go ahead and come out and be straight up with me so I know what I'm dealing with. The Democrats, they want to do it in a deceptive way. They want to do it passive aggressively. You see what I'm saying? That's the only difference between the Democrats and the Republicans. Both of them push for white supremacy. They just fight over how to implement it. Remember that, family. Remember that. I posted something on my page, Voice of the Ancestors. Remember, at the turn of the 1860s, after the 1860s, when black people were freed from bondage, most black people voted Republican, or we were fighting to vote Republican. Really, the parties have only switched. The change came in the 1960s when the Democrats gave us the right to vote in some form of civil rights. That's when a lot of black people started voting Democrat like that. Before then, we were really Republican. And really, the change came about because when the Democrats gave us some form of civil rights, a lot of white people were mad and started going Republican. So Republican picked up that face of, hey, we're the unapologetic white now, not the Democrats. That's how they got the white audience. But before then, the Democrats were always notorious for being white supremacists and anti-black. And I talk about that. Remember, Abraham Lincoln, a Republican, was a white supremacist. He wanted to colonize all black people and send us to South America after the Civil War. After we had won him the war, he thought black people were inferior. And the Democrats weren't no better. After Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, it was a Democrat, Andrew Johnson. I believe it's Andrew Johnson, I believe it was, who said, hey, hell no, we're not giving you 40 acres and a mule. We're going to give this back to the same plantation owners that we were fighting. That's Democrats and Republicans. You see what I'm saying? And we got to know our history on that. We got to know our history on that. The parties have just switched face masks. They switched Klan robes. That's it. They're the same people they always were. And I'm sure over the next 100 years, they'll change again. They'll change again. Neither one of our friends, you dig? Neither one have had the best interest for black people. But like I said, let me go ahead and talk about today, because the topic of the discussion, the topic of the live is playing dumb and playing victim. Playing dumb and playing victim. And what do I mean by this? They say, Chase, what do you mean by this? Oftentimes when black people, when we've been going through hell in the United States, when we've been getting beat up, when we've been getting hit upside the head, when we've been getting murdered, killed, raped, pillaged, kidnapped, discriminated against, and everything under the sun, When we finally decide to say, hey, man, this is wrong, we're going to fight back, the white supremacists, and whenever they take L's especially, they decide to play dumb and to play victim. Play dumb and play victim. In case in point, being out there in LA, as many of you know, over the last week, out there in LA, a lot of the white supremacists and white folks really across the country, Donald Trump and other white supremacists have been crying foul because you had, I don't even want to say brother because we don't know who the guy is. We don't know who the suspect is. But out there in LA, a brother shot into, I'm using brother loosely because like I say, I don't know if it was a black man, white man. It could be anybody. I'm like the white supremacists. We got to wait until all the investigations is over with. You dig how every time they kill an unarmed black man, woman, or child on camera, they say, wait, we got to investigate it. Don't jump to conclusions now. We got to do the same thing. But out there in LA, you had a dude who just walked up to a police car out there, and I believe it was Compton, and just shot 2 police officers point blank. Just walked up to the car, boom, boom, boom. And now the police out there, the LA sheriff out there, they're crying foul. Oh my God, dude, man. Oh man, what have we come to? What is America coming to? Why would they do something like this? It's open season on police officers. Family, again, they love to play dumb and play victim. Now, remember, a couple weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, they just shot and killed our brother. I believe his name was Deon Casey. I believe his name was. Out there, the brother was on his bicycle. They shot and killed that brother, unarmed. They've been shooting and killing, police in general, been shooting and killing black people all across the country, openly, on camera. We all know the cases: George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, not even police officers, but just white people, random white supremacists in general. Like who killed our brother Ahmaud Arbery, who killed our brother Rayshard Brooks down here, shot and paralyzed our brother Jacob Blake. They've been doing this all across the country, family. But when black people fight back, supposed black people fight back, when people start killing cops, now it's, oh my God, dude. Oh man, it's time to play victim now. And I always tell y'all about this, family. They love to play victim. In my book, Voice of the Ancestors, Volume 1, I talk about that. That's one of the rules of white supremacy. They love to deny. They love to deflect. They love to play victim when the time comes. They love to act big and bad. They love to oppress other groups of people. But when these people start fighting back and get the best of them, all of a sudden, oh my God, you're not playing fair. How did we get here? I saw a lot of white supremacists on Twitter after the shooting. How did we get here? We got here because you've been mistreating, killing, kidnapping, raping, murdering for 400 years African people. That's how we got here. Don't play stupid now. Don't play dumb now. You see what I'm saying? Don't play stupid. Don't play dumb. You've been doing this for years, for centuries, for decades. They've been killing black folks, but now they like to play dumb and to play victim. You see what I'm saying? Now they want to move the goalposts. Out there in LA, at the sheriff department. Now, by the way, LA is a county. The LA Sheriff's Department paid about $89 million last year, family, in settlements to black families. I won't say to black families, to victims of police brutality and police misconduct, because of all the terrorism they were enacting on the streets. So this is an organization, and y'all know LA is infamous for police brutality, whether it be the LA riots, the 92 riots, or the Rodney King riots, where black people got tired of them terrorizing them, or even going farther back in the 60s to the Watts riots. You see what I'm saying? They got a long history, the LAPD, LA Sheriff's Department, law enforcement in the LA area, of mistreating black folks. Long history of oppression. Yeah, they love to play victim. Long history of oppressing. But then when the people who are being oppressed, we start to rise up and fight back, then all of a sudden, whoa, dude, this is not how anything comes about now. They're on Twitter splaining. They're on Twitter, oh my God, those thugs, Black Lives Matter, and I've been telling y'all about this. Now, I'm not a fan of Black Lives Matter, the organization. I respect the movement and people who come from the movement in the sense that it's created a lot of conversation. It's awakening a lot of Black people. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not a fan of the organization part. But a lot of things, something that white supremacists like to do. They love to say the word Black Lives Matter, like all of them have been doing this. All of them are saying, wait, this is Black Lives Matter that killed those cops. And understand this. Black Lives Matter is a code word for white people. That's a code word. That means all Black people. If you're a Black person, when they say Black Lives Matter, they're talking about all Black people, but they like to hide behind, hey, I don't like the organization. But really what they're saying is, I don't like all Black people. That's a code word. White supremacists are big. In politics, they call that dog whistling. They're big on using code words. I've been telling y'all about Chicago. When they say, hey, man, look at Chicago, that's AKA look at all Black people. Because remember, Chicago is mostly white, family. Chicago is mostly white. But when they say, look at the crime in Chicago, they're talking about Black people. That's a code word for Black people. You see what I'm saying? Code word for Black people. Black Lives Matter, that means all Black people. So now they've been talking about, hey, man, see, this is what happens when you let Black Lives Matter go out here and protest. This is what happens. I mean, God forbid Black people want to protest the killings of their brothers and sisters. God forbid that in the system of white supremacy. You're not supposed to do that. This is the craziness that we deal with. This is the playing dumb and playing victim that we deal with in the white society. The rules always change when it comes to Black folks. So much so that the LA Sheriff's Department, one of their leaders, they came out and said that, hey, LeBron James, who we know, our brother, he plays for the Lakers, brother, very wealthy brother. They said LeBron James needs to match the bounty of the reward they got on the suspect, trying to get people to turn in the suspect, because a lot of Black folks have been on cold. And I'm sure Black people in the area, they know who did it, but they've been on cold. They're like, hey, it is what it is. It's not my job to be the police, as is their right. So they've been trying to force LeBron. Now they're trying to put the spotlight on him to offer rewards to give up the suspect. And LeBron didn't even respond, as he shouldn't have. But notice how the game, the field goal post, as we like to say, notice how it changed. Notice how the finish line changes. Now, when it comes to Black athletes protesting police brutality, when it comes to brothers like Colin Kaepernick and LeBron James included, they tell them to shut up and dribble. Remember the Fox News host told LeBron to shut up and dribble? Remember, every time Black people speak about police brutality, they say, oh, Black people, oh my God, dude, I just want to watch sports. Keep politics out of sports. That's what they tell us. That's what they tell our athletes. They don't want to put politics in sports. You dig? They tell us this all the time. I be seeing little college players come out here and they talk about, hey, man, we're against police brutality. And they say, dude, man, shut up, bro. Shut up, Tyrone. Play football, man. We don't want to hear politics in sports. I just want to watch my game. But now 2 police officers get shot. Now all of a sudden you want the athletes to be on the front line. You want the athletes to be the main ones up there protesting it. You want LeBron, you want his clout then. You want him to offer rewards then. Nah, it don't go both ways. It don't go both ways. We're going to keep your advice. Let's keep politics out of sports. No athlete should step up and talk about these police being shot. No athlete should step up and on this, because you said they should shut up and dribble. Remember, you said they should shut up and dribble. That's what they tell us all the time. That's what they tell Kaepernick. Play football. Don't put politics in this. So the same thing applies to them. The same thing applies to them, family. That's the moving of the goalposts. Now, mind you, they made all this, like I was saying, ain't snitching. Absolutely. You don't owe them no rights, family. And that's another thing we got to get out of. Police, tell the police to do their damn job. It is not our job to be the police. It is not our job to be the police. We already pay for them enough. We already pay all their damn settlements for them terrorizing the community, taxpayer dollars. It is not our job to be the police. And shout out to the brothers and sisters in LA, because I know always the streets always know what's up. The streets always know who committed any acts or any crime. Somebody knows, but they're on code right now. They say, hey, it's not my job. Like I say, and that's their right. Let the police do their damn job. Let the police do their damn job. You see what I'm saying? Go investigate and go find out the crime. Stop relying on people snitching and ratting. Now you talking about you need help. Well, motherfucker, we need help too when your foot is on our neck. Our brother George Floyd needed help too. And you didn't offer him no help. Your police buddy sat around and watched this race soldier keep his knee on his neck for 8 minutes. Now you looking at us for help. Oh, we need members of the community to come out and help. No, motherfucker, you do your own job. You see what I'm saying? We ain't got no friends. We ain't got friends. Yeah, it's destroying that community. But like I said, brothers and sisters on code. And notice that what I was going to say before. Notice that you have a white guy out here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, named David. Look him up. Named David Ware. This is a white supremacist. Well, this is just a white man. I won't say he's a white supremacist. This is a white man who shot and killed 2 police officers not too long ago. A few weeks ago. I don't even say it's a few. It might have been last week. He shot and killed 2 police officers in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area. That has been receiving no media coverage. It wasn't until a lot of the grassroots on social media started bringing it up. Nobody was saying anything because, see, you can't push a racial agenda then. Because the whole thing about this police brutality, the whole thing about protect the boys in blue, that's strictly racial, family. Remember, white people hate government. White people hate government more than black people. Don't let white people fool you. The only time they support police, the only time they support the government is when they're oppressing and killing Negroes. Any other time, they hate the government. They got whole podcasts. Oh, big government, conspiracy theory. Alex Jones and them. They love talking about how the government is hiding stuff. The government is, they're running scams. They're taking away our rights. They're taking away our guns. They got whole podcasts about that. Whole networks about how bad the government is, how bad police is. This is tyranny, dude. This is not what the founding fathers meant, dude. The government, they're taking away our guns, man. The police. The only time they support the police is when they killing black folks. Let's be clear on that, family. So this whole thing of protect the boys in blue, they love this push. Protect those boys in blue. We're pro-cop. I'm not going to support anybody who doesn't support the flag and support law enforcement. That's strictly racial. That's strictly racial. They don't give a damn about law enforcement. Let's be clear. White people kill more police than any other group of people. Look that up. Yet the only time they push police getting killed is when a supposed Negro. You dig? Only time they care about the police is when black people are riding up, turning up. When it comes to them protecting them. You dig? That's the only time they care about the police. Yeah, keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. Remember, it was tyranny a couple months ago. Whenever it's a white issue, it's tyranny. Oh my God, dude, man, they're taking away our rights, man. They hit you with that. They hit you with that. But when one of these white boys goes out here, like many of them do, and kill police officers, they're quiet because they can't put a racial agenda behind that. And they released this article. Let me show you this real quick, family. Let me show the family this. Because this is interesting, and I want to break this down. This is interesting. This is in the Tulsa paper, ABC side of Tulsa. This is, he says, police chief releases video of officers being shot. Says video should have stayed in courtroom. You dig? Video should have stayed in courtroom. And this is interesting, family. This is interesting. And he says, right here, it says, before the Tulsa Police Department released video of 2 officers being shot, Chief Waddell Franklin urged the public to avoid watching. Urged them to avoid watching. Now they keep, notice how they keep, family. Hold on one second, make sure you can see. Can y'all see that, family? I think y'all should be able to see that. Notice how they keep urging white America to watch the killing of unarmed black men. Remember, they released the full tape of George Floyd being killed. They released police shootings when they killed Negroes. They released that footage all the time. They spread that on every news network, family. Notice that. But when the police are getting killed, oh my God, I urge you to not watch it. Don't watch it. He said right here, he said the public shouldn't be able to see the execution of police officers. Well, my question to you, Franklin, you coon, because this is Franklin right here, and they always use a black guy to push the agenda. My question to you is, why do you release all these killings of unarmed black men spread all over the internet? Because who was our brother out there in Tulsa who was killed by a race soldier? Who was our brother? I can't remember the brother's name. Forgive me, the ancestor. Who was our brother out there in Tulsa who was killed by that race soldier? And they tried to say he had PCP in his system. It was a white woman that killed him, and she got off. It's so many people. Let me look it up real quick. What was our brother's name, family? Our brother who was killed out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, they showed us the footage of him. He was backing towards his car. Does anybody remember that? Let me see. Was it Terrence Crutcher? Was that his name, Terrence Crutcher? Hold on, let me see. I'm finna look it up real quick because I always find this interesting. I believe it was Terrence Crutcher out there in Oklahoma. Yes, it was out there in Tulsa. Terrence Crutcher, that's his name. Notice how when Terrence Crutcher got killed, they released that footage. They didn't encourage people not to watch it. They said, we want to put full transparency on this. But when it comes to black folks, or police officers being shot and killed, they never want to show the footage. Then it's like he said, the public shouldn't be able to see the execution of police officers. That's an interesting narrative. And let me tell you, the reason why they do this, family, is because they understand psychological warfare. Let's be clear on this. People say, why don't they want the police officers to show them being taken down? They understand psychological war. They understand it's an act of psychological warfare when you show people who are seen to be invincible, people who seem to be heroes being taken down. You dig? They never want to show that. Notice they never show police officers being killed. Never. You never see that. Even going back to Dallas with our brother Micah Johnson, when that brother had his gun and he was giving race soldiers that worked, they didn't show that footage. Understand, they have footage, and I've seen footage before they wiped the internet of it, of those Dallas police officers being killed by Micah Johnson. You dig? Regardless of how you feel about it, they have footage of that. Yet they wipe the internet of it. Yet they never show it. They just show those police officers' faces, and they say Michael Johnson, he was a terrorist and a black identity extremist. Notice that. They don't show that footage at all because they understand that's a part of psychological warfare. When they show you these black people being killed constantly, when they show our brother Eric Garner being choked out on film saying, I can't breathe, that's a public lynching. That's a public lynching. That's a reminder to every Negro in America, you will get lynched if you step out of line. And they want you to see it. A lot of black people be thinking, oh, it's transparency. No, that's strategic. They want you to see that lynching, family. They want you to see that lynching. They want you to see our brother Terrence Crutcher backing up to his car when that race soldier shot him. You dig? They want you to see that. They want you to see our brother Rayshard Brooks running away as those race soldiers gunned him down. They want you to see that white supremacist knee on the back of George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes while he's screaming, even for his mama. That's a lynching. That's letting you know, nigga, if you step out of line, this is what we do to niggas who step out of line. You dig? They want you to see that footage of Philando Castile in the car with his queen and his daughter in a child. I don't believe the daughter was his. I believe it was his queen's daughter, but in the car with a child where he gets shot. I believe it was 20 some times in front of them. That's a public lynching. They understand the psychological harm that can do to Black people. That trauma that causes, that ancestral memory that causes. That's why he said, hey, man, we don't need to show the death of police officers. Why not? Why not? Because you know that's a part of psychological warfare. You understand that if we show the death of these police officers, that's empowering for a lot of oppressed people who are oppressed by police. That shows that they can be taken down. Whoa, police are not invincible. That's what that shows, whether right or wrong. I'm not here to say that. I'm just reporting. I'm just breaking down the psychological factor, family. Yeah, they don't want that to be social norm. They're fine with Black people being executed as social norm. That's part of America's pastime to them. They say, we can show that. We can show that. You dig? We can show that all the time. But hey, if we start showing police officers being taken down, that's a problem. Because these are people that we mark as invincible. They're invincible. These are the boys in blue. The people who can't be taken down. The people, the law enforcement gonna get you. You know, you got niggas bucking their eyes. I showed you a coon the other week. Let me play that video real quick. I showed you a coon the other week. Hold on, let me see if I can find that video the other week, because this is what you, hold on, cancel. You guys have Negroes like this. Let me share my screen. See, when you don't show police officers being taken down, when you don't show that they're human, you have niggas like this out here who are bucking their eyes.
Remember telling you people, when white people get fed up, they gonna fight back.
Lord.
When they fight back, it won't be pretty.
It won't be pretty now.
I want to call them racist and want to call them every name under God's green earth.
Oh my God. You want to call them a white supremacist for killing you. You want to call them demonic for killing you. Oh my goodness.
That kid in Kenosha is just the start. They're going to get fed up.
They're going to get
when
fed
they
up.
Get fed up, they outnumber you.
Ooh-wee.
Do not forget that it was people like this that stood up to the British.
Oh.
They had an army. These were just villagers who were fed up.
Oh gosh.
They only pushed American people around so much, BLM. I would not like to be you in a couple of months if you keep this crap up. Ooh, it's gonna be bad. You think a blown bicep with a bullet is bad? You think one? Remember telling?
Lord, let me stop it right there. Lord, family. See, when you never show cops being taken down, when you don't show these white supremacists getting their ass whooped like they normally do, when you don't expose them for what they were, this is why that police officer said, hey, don't show that video. Then you have Sambos out here talking about like they invincible. Oh, Lord, y'all gonna make white folk mad now. Ooh, remember, it was white folk like this that took down the British. Nigga, please. Ain't nobody afraid of white folks. White people bleed just like we bleed. They do not defy the laws of physics. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed. Did a great show about that. They do not defy the laws of physics, family. White people bleed just like you bleed. They're human just like you human. All this, oh my God. We can't defeat the white mommy and white daddy. They get their ass whooped just like we get their ass whooped. You see what I'm saying? They get the same work that we get. Get out of this mentality. They don't want to show you because they understand the importance of psychological warfare. You got niggas out here who even think that, oh my God, police are invincible. They can fly. They can just do all this wrongdoing to people. They can just oppress people. They can terrorize the Black community and never get touched. Never get touched. They're untouchable. No, they're not. No, they're not, family. And I'm just reporting the news. I'm not out here to condone people killing the police. I'm just reporting the news, family. I'm just here to give you a dose of reality. Because you got Sambos out here who believe all of a sudden that if they hit you, it's impossible for you to hit them back. Coons and Sambos. And we're not going for it. Yeah, you people. He's speaking you people like he's not black. Like if they attack black people, if they attack Black Lives Matter, again, I told you that Black Lives Matter is everybody. That means all black people. This dumb Sambo don't understand that. He had like white folks gonna give him a pass. And see, that's the history of coons. Coons somehow think if they could be the pet Negro and they won't oppress me. You see what I'm saying? Well, if I just shit on all black people, maybe I can be the token Negro that they care about. And they end up turning on the coons too. As soon as it's in their advantage, they turn on the coons and kill the coons too. You dig? They put them on the front line too. But that's a part of psychological warfare, family. That's why they don't want you seeing these killings of police officers. They never want you seeing them in a state where they're taking L's. Never want you seeing that. Just like with that Compton shooting. They're so butthurt about it. And what they're really butthurt about is you have brothers and sisters who showed up to the hospital saying, "Die, pigs, die." That's what really got them mad. That's what really got them like, whoa. You had brothers and sisters in LA who showed up to the hospital like, hey, and we hope they dead. Not only are we not telling you who did it, but we hope they die. That's what they said, whoa. Whoa, then they got to play victim now. What happened to the tough talk? What happened to the hard talk? What happened to the boys in blue? We'll take down anybody. What happened to all that talk? Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Officers, what you gonna do when we come for you? That's the real question. Niggas been out here singing the bad boy song. What you gonna do when we come for you? You did? So we got to understand this part of the game, family. We got to understand how these lynchings, they get into our psychological factors. And we start cooning and buffooning. We start thinking these people can't be touched. Anybody can get touched, family. Anybody can get touched. This nigga's out here talking about it was a small group who defeated the British. First of all, white Americans, I always say this, white Americans don't win any war without black people. Let's be clear. While this Sambo is out here talking about they rose up against a British, remember, it was a black man who was the first one who rose up, the first one who fought and died in the name of the United States in the American Revolutionary War by the name of Crispus Attucks. Remember that, Sambo, you coon. You did? Never forget that. They don't win any war without black people. They don't win any war. The Civil War, where they like to act like, oh, the good white folks up north defeated the South. Remember, it wasn't until those 180,000 black soldiers participated for the Emancipation Proclamation that the North started winning. Remember, the South was giving the North that work because the South had all those military schools. It wasn't until those brothers started participating. It wasn't until you had brothers like Robert Smalls who started stealing Confederate ships. It wasn't until you had some of the greatest spies who were African, like Harriet Tubman, who was one of the Union's greatest spies, who started giving away key Confederate positions, who started leading Buffalo Soldiers and black entrymen in those wars. That's when the tide started to turn. There has never been a war that hasn't been that black people have not participated in. White people don't ever win a war by themselves. White people are not stupid. You dig? All their military skills they get from black folks. All this whole thing of guerrilla warfare, they get that from black people. Remember, in these military schools, they study West Point. They study Hannibal, who was a black Carthaginian leader. You dig? Black man who fought the Romans. They study Queen Nzinga. They study that guerrilla warfare tactics that comes out of Africa. They've always done that since ancient times. Remember, you had European leaders who used to hire, Romans used to hire Cushite bow and archers. They used to hire our shooters. So we got to always remember that, family. We got to always remember that. Don't be afraid of these folks. Don't be afraid of these folks. Don't allow them to play dumb, and don't allow them to play victim. You see what I'm saying? Remind them of their history. Remember, these police officers were shot and killed because of the actions of police, not because of the actions of Black Lives Matter. And again, I'm not a friend of Black Lives Matter, but I understand the code word. Black Lives Matter means all Black people. These people were killed because of the actions of police. And not only the actions of police, the actions of the system in general, who allows these police to kill unarmed Black people and get away with it. And then make us pay the victim's family money, the taxpayers. So if they want to look at anybody, they need to look in the mirror. You dig? They need to look in the mirror. They're not going to play dumb and play victim any longer. We're going to call them out on that, family. We're going to call them out as we should on that. But like the video, family. Make sure you like the video right now. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon. I'm going to answer any questions. Does anybody have any questions for your boy real quick? If not, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm looking forward to that Foundational Black American Conference. And by the way, speaking of the Foundational Black American Conference, I will not be going live on Saturday because I will be at the conference. I'll be doing a lot of networking. A lot of the elders are coming to Atlanta. So I want to meet up with a lot of the elders, chop up a lot of good game about that. I'm going to try to kind of do what they call a vlog. I'm going to try to vlog the Foundational Black American Conference when I go to it on Saturday. Just want to show you what Black excellence looks like and real Black conversation. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed. Shout out to all the speakers who are going to be there. Dr. Kaba, Riza Islam, Brother Jabari, and many others. You dig? So shout out to them. You dig? That's going to be a very special event. I can't wait for that. I'm going to try to, like I say, vlog that for the family and put it on the YouTube page that we're on right now. Just because it's important we have Black conversations, because it's obvious that Black politicians and these political parties aren't in our favor. They aren't in our favor, family. You dig? At the end of the day. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon. Somebody said, what do you think about the Black militia? What do you mean? Are you talking about a particular Black militia, or are you talking about just being militant in general, Black people being militant in general? Are you talking about a particular Black militia, or, like I say, Black people just being militant in general? If you're talking about Black people being militant in general, it's a must. It's a must. I'm not asking you to break the law. I'm not asking you to do anything but defend yourself, which is your right, your God-given right. I believe that Black people, all Black people, should be armed to the teeth. I'm not talking about armed in the sense that you got one pistol in the house. I'm talking about armed in the sense that you have multiple weapons in multiple situations in multiple time. And not only do you have these weapons, but you're trained in these weapons. You see what I'm saying? Okay, you said in general. Yeah, you're trained in these weapons. That's very important, family. Be responsible. Get your proper paperwork that you're supposed to have your license and things of that nature. Be, like I say, be responsible with how you're using the weapons and things of that nature. But you should be in position to defend yourself and your family at all times. Yourself and your family at all times, family. You have to have weapons on you. It's a must. Everybody has to know how to shoot the weapon. Not only, it shouldn't just be the Black man's job to defend the Black family. Yes, we are the primary defender, but Black women should know how to defend. You need to take your queen to the gun range. You need to take your children to the gun range. Start teaching your babies how to shoot. White folks teach their kids how to shoot. Go on YouTube. Go on YouTube and look at all these white folks who got their kids out on the gun range at 9 and 10. They in elementary school learning how to shoot a shotgun, learning how to shoot an AR-15, learning how to shoot an AK-47, learning how to hold it, learning how to change the magazines and things of that nature out of the gun, learning how to dismantle the gun, learning the functions of the gun. They teach their kids how to be militant at a very young age, family. We have to do the same. We have to do the same. And that's one thing I've been working on. You know, we have guns, but we need to start learning how to be tactical with them, how to use them. You know, I got to start meeting up with some brothers. I know some brothers who've been trying to get me out there to do some tactical training. I need to stop procrastinating on that. It's not just good enough to have a gun, but you need to know how to shoot it. I mean, I know how to shoot my gun, of course, and I know we go to the range regularly, but you know what I'm saying? You need tactical, how to move. You see what I'm saying? Strategic, how to be efficient at, essentially, it's going to sound harsh, but how to be efficient, an efficient killer if you need to be. You see what I'm saying? How to be an efficient killer if you need to be. Your first time pulling the trigger shouldn't be when your life is on the line, family. Plain and simple. So yes, we do need to be more militant. And militant is not just physically, it's not just guns. Militant is economically as well. We have to start defending our assets. We have to learn the art of defense when it comes to finance. When we create a business, we have to get an LLC, a limited liability company. We have to know how to shield our money from creditors, from people who might sue us. Because one thing we see as well, when Black people start to rise up, they attack us financially. You see what I'm saying? So we have to learn how to shield our money. White supremacists are good militancy. They're very good at being militant when it comes to finances as well. They know how to shield their money. They know how to hide their money in insurance policies. Things that are legal. I'm not telling you do anything illegal, by the way. This is legal things. They know how to create IULs, index universal lives, put that money in there. That way, if somebody sues them, they got millions and millions of dollars, but it's in their life insurance policy. IUL that they can access essentially at any time they want and pull that money out and still keep their death benefit, but a creditor cannot sue them for it. You see what I'm saying? They know how to invest in things like gold. Gold is good for shielding creditors. A creditor cannot take your gold. You see what I'm saying? That's good at shielding creditors. So they're very militant. We have to just develop a militant mindset and a defense mindset all the way around. You dig? That's what we have to do, essentially. So it's important that we're more militant. You see what I'm saying? I always say the 3 keys is knowledge of self, economic empowerment, and military science. Those are the 3 major keys, family, at all times. And that's how we have to move if we truly want to be about Black empowerment. Any more questions, family? Any more questions? Any more questions? And I'm about to get out of here. If we don't have any more questions, I appreciate all the family, the few family who came in here and rocked with me tonight. I really appreciate the love and support. It's not about having the huge numbers in here. It's not about having 10,000 people watching me on live, but it's about coming up here and chopping up game with like-minded people and just using my influence to try to empower, even if it's, like I say, it's 9 people in the chat right now, even if it's just 9, you know what I'm saying? Because all it takes is a small group of us on code. It took the Haitians, a small group of people on code, to overthrow white supremacy. You see what I'm saying? It only takes a small group, because I'm telling you right now, if a small group can win, family, revolution, economic empowerment, military science, freedom and revolution in general is contagious. If a small group of us get on code, it's going to be contagious to the rest of Black people, and they would eventually fall in line. And one thing, when people fall in line and the Black people get on code, you will realize that we are the majority. We are the majority globally. That's something we forget. You got Sambo out here, man, we the minority. It's only a small group of us, because you're looking at it from just a United States point of view. You're looking at it from a United States point of view. We are the majority globally. But all it takes is a small group of us to get on code. The rest will fall in line. So like I say, family, I'm about to be out. Like the video. Please like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video as well. Inform other people. Okay, we back. I'm gonna be at the Foundational Black American Conference, like I was saying. Sorry about that, family. But I'll be live next Wednesday at 9 o'clock. And until next time, family, peace and Black power. I'm out. Y'all enjoy y'all week.